Okay, we're actually sort of bizarrely on the set where I'm shooting, but I thought that we'd mix that with a little poetry and claptrap here, the book. This is an interesting poem in that it's called My Neighbor to the South, and it's actually about a neighbor of mine when I lived in my last house, and I ended up running into financial problems and a lot of other things, and had to end up selling the house. And my neighbor, and none of this is really in the poem, but my neighbor remains in the house, a beautiful house overlooking Los Angeles. My neighbor to the south. I haven't known him well, the chocolate man with his caramel freckles and sugar plum hands, weeds dancing in the exhaust of his pickup as it backs up to his green garbage cans at 5 a.m. Does he feed on his rage that I sensed that day, offering our gardener, slave he called him, to take his garbage cans to the top of the hill? He wouldn't be unhappy if he heard I were dead, having told me already that my wife was shit, that my life was shit, that I cared about no one but my own fucking self. And the funny thing is, I didn't punch him out or smash his face right then. Instead, I offered him my gardener, free of charge, so he'd never have to do this lifting garbage cans again in the pitch black night that we both live in. We could have slept in, woke up clean at 8 a.m. instead of this awful crawl and scrape across his hard concrete and the whine of his engine and the headlights up the hill as I sit in his shadow, afraid I always will. So it's interesting, because I've left that life, really. Gardeners. And in some way, was he right? Because what I didn't mention before was he's African American, the chocolate man. And his reference of my gardener being a slave is something I've come to accept as really being true in some way, the economy being what it is. So in fact, I still in some ways sit in the shadow of him.